We have seen that we can copy an existing report and then create a new report with that copy, so we can keep building on what we have constructed previously. And we have also seen that we have horizontal pages, so that just means like we can enrich the report like horizontally speaking to the right hand side, for example. But what's also interesting is that there is another feature, and again, it's something that we most of the times we don't even have in standard reports, in which in one report that we create, we can continue to enrich the report, but vertically speaking. And actually, we call these sections. We can create a new section, vertically speaking. And what is really interesting to note is just that in a horizontal page, the one that we checked in the previous lesson, um, the rows should be shared, or they are just automatically shared. So whatever we have defined as the rows for the first horizontal page will be just the same for the second horizontal page. But with the sections, we can have completely different settings for both. I mean, like the columns and the rows. That just means actually we can have like the complete new like universe of data. But that is what's interesting. We can sometimes relate the first universe of data that we have in the main horizontal pages and the second horizontal page, for example, to the second universe of data that we have in the second section that we create, for example. And well, the scenario could be again, we have actual costs and planned costs, but maybe we want also to involve statistical key figures, and for that we will create a new section. So in this lesson, we will just show that we will create a report copying an existing report, so we can continue to build upon that one, and we will then set up this new section. So let's open the path to create a new report, the same transaction we have been using, the create. So let's just double click that one, and we'll create a new report copying this one. So I will just cut this, and let's type the ID for the new one. Okay, now let's just set a nice description for this. So this will be just like new section, a report to show the feature of the new section. And as we have been saying, we won't start from scratch. We will copy an existing report, the previous one, to create our new one. So let's just click now create. And as we know, we have set up everything here for actual costs. On the right hand side, we have the second horizontal page for the quantities. And now at the bottom, we will create like a separate second section after this main first section. So well, what it's also important, and we will just do that right now, is just we can enter a description for each section. So in the previous reports, we haven't done this because we only had like one section and that's it. But for this one, we will enter now a description for the first section, and when we create the second section, we will also enter a corresponding description. So this will be just a new section, the main section for costs. And well, now how can we create a new section? It's pretty easy. We just have to come all the way to the top, click edit, and here we have sections, new section. Okay, for this first example, we will just go with a section with characteristics and key figures, not with calculations. So this is fine for now. Let's click confirm. And as you can see, well, the screen changes completely and automatically. We have like a new setup here of rows and columns completely. Well, right now it's completely empty. Here is where we will, well, we have the ability to define this new universe of data with different values in the columns, different values maybe even on the rows. And well, first let's start just with a nice description for this, because right now we have just a question mark. But now let's just enter a statistical key figure section, and we will just now start with the definition first of the rows. So as you know, we have like these little dots for the rows and the little dots here for the columns. Let's just double click on the first available dot there for the rows. And well, we can set up a formula because we could involve some of the values that we have in the previous section. We can like link them, but right now we want them like to be completely separate. So we will just set up the characteristic right now. So with characteristic, let's just click confirm, and let's we want this not for custom elements but for statistical key figures. So let's remove the custom element. This is just defaulted by the system because it's like assuming that we want to keep just adding new cost elements in this new section and analyzing some other values for different customers. But that is not what we want. We want a completely separate universe of data here, which are the statistical key figures. So let's remove that, and let's select statistical key figure and add that, well, move that to the left. And then of course we need to set up the ID for the statistical key figure. And for this, well, we will use like the match code.